everybody, I'm back with another tutorial. I'm making this really pretty top for my daughter, and I have to make two panels. So this is the first panel that I made. So I just wanted to show you that this is the first panel. I've done this pattern, which I'll show you how to do. And then because it wasn't wide enough, I added a couple of stitches of double crochet on each side of the panel, because she doesn't want it too tight against her body. She wants it to be a little bit loose. So this is the first panel, and I'm using a 5mm hook to crochet this, and I'm using a lightweight, a 3 light acrylic, 100% acrylic yarn to make this. And I'll be right back to start making the second panel. Alright, so in order to start the panel, you have to make, for this size, it's a size small, but I highly, if you want to do this project, I would highly recommend that you measure yourself at your chest, and then, continue to measure the piece against your body. So it is multiples of 8 plus 12. So in this case, I'm going to do 44 stitches. So 1, 2, try and make them loose. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to do another 3 multiples of 8 plus 12, and I will meet you back when I get to that point. So I should have 44 chains on my hook. Alrighty, so I have made my 44 chains, and I measured it against the panel, and it looks the same. So now, in order to do your first row, it's a repeat. You have to make 7 rows to start, and then you repeat rows 2 to 6 to create this beautiful pattern. So what you do is you make a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you make 1 double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then another double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, so that you get, it looks like the first 3 chains that you skipped is the first double crochet, then the second and the third. And then what we need to do is to create a single crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. You skip 3 chains. Actually, I think you have to chain 3 first, sorry. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you skip 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3. So in the 4th, you make a single crochet, just like that. And then you're going to again make 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3. So in the 4th, you're going to create a shell stitch. So what that is 2 double crochets in that same stitch. So that's 1 and 2. Make a chain in between, and then you make another 2 single crochets to make that shell stitch in that space. So this is what it looks like. So you're just going to repeat that till you get to the end. So you're going to make another 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip 4. 3. 1, 2, 3. In the 4th one, you're going to make a single crochet, just like this. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you skip the 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And in the 4th one, you make your shell. So let me just look at that again. 1, 2, 3. In the 4th, you're going to make your shell stitch, which is 2 double crochets with a chain 1 in between, and then another 2 double crochets in that same stitch, just like this. So just carry on like this. until we get near the end, and I'll meet you back at the end. I believe when you get to the end, you should have like your single crochet at the end. Yes, and then you're going to make your 3 double crochets at the very end. So meet me back when you get to the last single crochet, and then instead of making the shell, you're going to make 3 double crochets. So I'll meet you back there. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the row. So I've done the shell, and I've done the single crochet in between the shell and the single crochet stitch, as I've done here. So now I have just a few stitches left on my hook. So we have to make 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and then we go into the very last stitch, and we're going to make 3 double crochets in that same stitch. So that's 1, 2, oops, and 3. Oops, I didn't finish that stitch. That was 2, and then 1 more, and that is 3. So there we go. See, so when we started it, we did the 3, and we ended it, we did 3. So we're going to now, let me grab some more yarn here. We're going to flip our work, turn our work around, and we're going to chain 3 again. Oops. So I chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I go into this very first stitch, and I'm going to make another 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, so that's how you start it. And then what we need to do is make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to make a single crochet on top of the single crochet, just like this. Okay, so we've done a single crochet on top of the single crochet, and now we're going to make that beautiful box stitch. So what we have to do here is chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're going to turn your work around like this, and then we're going to make 5 double crochets in this space. So let's just do that. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn this over again, so going back in that same direction as we were before, when you at the beginning of the row, and we're going to make a double crochet in each of the next 5 double crochets. So you're going to make another 5 double crochets. So that's 1. Go into the next one. 2. Go into the next one. 3. Go into the next one. 4. And go into one more right here, and 5, just like that. And that's the box stitch made. So the next thing we need to do is make a shell. The next stitch from the row below was the shell stitch. So we're going to do that shell pattern once again. So you're going to go in that chain space of the shell, and you're going to make another shell, which is 2 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, chain 1, and 2 double crochets, just like that. So now we have to do this again. So once you make your shell, you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll repeat it one more time. You go on top of that, you make a single crochet on top of that single crochet from the previous row, just like this. So that's done. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, make 5 double crochets in this chain space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work again. Now we're going back in that working direction. And we're going to do a double crochet on top of each of the next 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like this, just like that. So there's our second block. So what do we do next? We're going to make the shell on top of the shell, and then you chain 3, you do what we just did, make another block. You make the single crochet on top of single crochet, make the block, shell on shell, single crochet on top of the single crochet, make a block, shell on shell. And then the last one will be here. You make a single crochet on top of single crochet, make the block, and I'll meet you when we get to this point. Okay, so I'm at the very end here where I have to make my last block. So I've done the shell, I did the single crochet. So the single crochet on top of the single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work and make the 5 double crochets in that chain space there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work around again. So now you're going back in the direction of the working direction. And you make 1 double crochet on top of each of the next 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like this. And now what we have to do is go to the very last stitch and make 3 double crochets in that space. So I go to the top of it and you make 1, go back into that same last stitch, make a second single crochet and a third single crochet. So that's row 2 is done. So we've started with that beautiful block, shell and block stitch. So next what we have to do is again turn our work, going into row 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then make 2 double crochets in that very first stitch. So that's 2 and that's 3, so that every time you're going to eventually have like it's 3 double crochets. So what we need to do now is we need to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to make a single crochet in that chain space of the block. See how we did the 5 double crochets in each, and then there was this chain space here. So you just make, simply go in there and you make your single crochet. Look how beautiful that is. Now we chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we make the chain stitch, the shell stitch on top of the shell stitch in that one chain space that's separated from the bottom, the row, previous row. Chain 1, so you do two double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets in that chain 1 space of the previous shell stitch row. Just like this. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So in this row, there's always a chain 3 in between each stitch. Where the one below, there wasn't. There wasn't. It was only in between the, you have to watch it again because I can't even remember. I remember once you did the block, you don't have to chain to do the shell. But in this row, you do. Hopefully that makes sense. So once again, you make a single crochet in that chain 3 space of the block stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you go into the shell. And you make your shell again, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Just like this. It's such a pretty stitch. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to carry on doing this. So I'm going to chain 3, make your single crochet, chain 3, make your shell stitch, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, shell stitch, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and then you end the row. So I'll meet you back when I get to this very end here with the single crochet. Alright, so I did the shell. On top of the shell, I chained 3. I'm at the very last block where this chain 3 space is, and I have to make a single crochet in that space. Just like that. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I make 3 double crochets in the last stitch of the row here. The top of it. The top of that last double crochet. So 3 double crochets in that last stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Just like this. There we go. That is the 3rd row done. We need to turn our work and we're going into row 4. Let me get myself organized here. So when we start this row, when we start the row, we do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets in that first stitch. That's how we always start our rows. Just like this. Okay. So next, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Make a double crochet, or sorry, make a single crochet on top of this single crochet of that block. Remember, you put the double crochet or single crochet in that chain 3 space there. Then you go back to that single crochet. Sorry, I'm confusing my stitches. And you make another single crochet on top of there. So you end up with 2 single crochets, one from the previous row, one that we just did. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you make a shell on top of the shell, which is 2 double crochets in that chain 1 space, chain 1, and then another 2 double crochets, just like that. See, you're working on top of the shells. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So again, we have the chain 3 spaces in between the single crochet and the shell. Always in this particular row. So now we're going to just repeat that again. We're going to go on top of that single crochet that we made in the previous row on that block, chain 3, and then we go into the shell. Chain 3, right? We did the chain 3, then we do a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Chain 3, and just keep repeating that. So we're going to do single crochet, chain 3, shell, chain 3, and so on. I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, I'm almost at the end of the row. I made my last single crochet on top of the previous single crochet, and I chained 3. So now I have to make those 3 double crochets in that last stitch at the top of that double crochet, the very last double crochet in the top stitch there. So 1, 2, and 3. Just like this. Isn't that beautiful? Love, 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 love this. So we are going to make our next row, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do the block stitch again, but now as we do this block stitch it's going to be facing the other way. So what we do again to start, always to start, we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and make 2 double crochets in that very first stitch. That's 1 and that's 2. So the chain 3 and the 2 double crochets equals 3 double crochets. All right, so we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. We're going to repeat that block that we did in this row. So we make a single crochet on top of that single crochet from the previous. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Turn this around, this piece, and we're going to make 5 double crochets in this space right here, in this long space that we just made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Flip this over again. So now we're back in the working direction. So you see how this block, this one's facing this way, this one's facing this way, and that's how you get that pattern. They're staggered kind of. So now we make a double crochet on top of the next 5 double crochet stitches from. Okay, so I did the 5 double crochets on top of the 5 double crochets. So next we have the shell stitch in front of us, ahead of us. So we just make 1 shell on top of that shell, which is 2 double crochets in that chain 1 space. Make a chain 1 to separate those 2 double crochets. You're going to make 4 altogether, but with a 1 chain in between the 2 sets of 2, just like this. So now we're going to go here. First we make a chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Go on top of this single crochet from the previous row, make another single crochet, and we're going to repeat this block. So what we do is we chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn our work this way in the opposite direction, and we make 5 double crochets once again in that space, in that big chain 3 space that we just made. 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 double crochets, chain 3 again, 1, 2, and 3. Flip your work over again. So now we're going back in the working direction. We make we make a double crochet on top of each of the next 5 double crochets. So that's 1, go into the next double crochet, 2, next double crochet, 3, next double crochet, 4, and the 5th double crochet, and that's 5. And then you've got that chain 3 space that we're going to work in the next row. And then we go into the next shell. There's no spaces in between the block and the shell. There's no chains in between. That's what I meant when I said spaces. So we do another shell on top of that shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets, just like this. Chain 3, and then we're going to go into this single crochet, make your single crochet, chain 3, 5 flip the thing over and do your, just like we just did here. So we're just going to keep doing this until we get, I will meet you back right here. We'll do that last block and then we'll finish this row. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of the row again. So I did my shell on top of the shell, I chained 3. Now I'm at the top of that previous block where I did the single crochet. So I'm going to make another, I'm going to make another block. So I make a single crochet. On top of that single crochet, I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I flip the work around in the opposite direction, and we're going to make 5 double crochets in that chain 3 space that we just made. So 1, 2, 3. I need yarn here. It's so tight. 3. Which way am I working here? Okay, that was 3. This is 4 and 5. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Flip your work again, so you're going back in the working direction. Make 1 double crochet on top of each of the double crochets you just made. So you're going to do 5, 1 on each. So that's 1, 2, 3. I need more yarn. 4 and 5. Just like this. We're at the end of the row. So at the very end of the row, we simply make 3 double crochets on top of this last double crochet of the previous round. So that's 1, all in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Just like this. So this is the end of row 5, I believe. So we're just about done. This pattern, you see how beautiful it is? So it goes this way, this way, this way, this way. All right, so the next row, flip our work, get more yarn here, get my yarn situated, chain 3, always start with chain 3 at the beginning of each row, and then 2 single crochets in that same stitch, just like this. And now we're going to make a chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to single crochet in this chain 3 space. So you simply make a single crochet just like that, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to make the shell on top of the shell. In that chain 1 space, you make 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets, just like that. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Go into the chain 3 space of that block that we made in the previous row. Make a single crochet, chain 3. Oops. Going way too fast. 1, 2, and 3, and then shell on top of the shell once again. So that's 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets, and we're just going to repeat that. We're going to chain 3, make a single crochet in that chain 3 space, chain 3, make a shell on top of the shell, chain 3, single crochet on top of that single crochet, chain 3, and then shell on top of shell. I will meet you back at the very last block here, and yeah, I'll meet you right back when I get to that point. All right, almost at the end of the row. I finished doing the shell on top of the shell, chain 3. I'm at that last section here of that block from the previous row, so I'm going to make my single crochet in that chain 3 space, chain 3, and then we're going to go in we're going to go into the top of this double crochet space. More yarn over because I got to make 3 double crochets. Oops. Yarn over, go into that stitch and make 3 double crochets in that same stitch. That's 2 and that's 3. All right, so that's the end of row 6. So we have one more row to do, and then we start to repeat. Okay, so again, flip your work to get to the next row. Sorry, I just bumped into the camera. And again, at the beginning of each row, we make a chain of 3. So chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then you make 2 double crochets in that same space. 1 and 2. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to once again make a single crochet on top of this single crochet that we made in the previous row, just like this. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then you make your shell on top of your shell once again, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets in that chain 1 space, just like that. And that's the end of that pattern. And then we're just going to start by doing it once again, but we're doing the block going this way. Which way do we just do it? We just did it this way, so now we're going to do it this way. So that's how you do it. Chain 3, go on top of that single crochet that we just made right here, make another single crochet, and chain 3. And then we make another shell on top of the other shell. So continue this until we get to the end of this row. Oh, one more. So I'll meet you back at the end of the row. All right, so I just made my single crochet on top of the previous single crochet from the previous row. Excuse me, and I chained 3. Now I'm at the end of the row, so I need to make 3 double crochets in this last stitch here, in the top of that last stitch. That's 1, 2, and 3. So that's the end of row 7. So now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 2, which is this one, all the way back up to 7. So the next 6 rows like we just did. Because one time you start, you're doing the block going this way, and then you have to make those 2 spaces in between, and then you're going that way. That's how you get that staggered look. So I can just start the beginning of row 2, but then if you need to see it again, you just need to rewind it. But it's pretty straightforward. So you flip your work around, chain 3, and make 2 double crochets like we always do at the beginning of each row. It's a pretty easy stitch. It looks very complicated, but it's not. It's really not. It's really pretty. So we're going to start the block again in this row. So just remember, you make your block, then, sorry, I'm just trying to give you a guide. Once you make your block, you're going to end up doing 2 double crochets after you make that block, and then once you do those 2 double crochets from the previous rows, then you start your block again, and that gives you you're going back and forth so you get that staggered look. So again, we're going to make another block. I'll just do 1. So you do a single crochet on top of the single crochet, just like that. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Flip. No, I forgot to put a chain 3 space in between. Hold on. Okay. So once you make that chain 3 and the 2 double crochets in the same space, then you have to make a chain 3. You need a chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. And then you go into that double or single crochet from that previous row. Make your single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Flip your work over, and then you make those 5 double crochets in that chain 3 space that we just made. You need that, otherwise there's no room to make those 5 double crochets to make that block stitch. What are we on here? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Flip your work over again, and then make your 5 double crochets on top of the next 5 that you just made. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I miss one? I think I did. I'll be right back. Yes, I forgot to make, because I did a chain 3 to begin, and I counted that as a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Flip it again. So now you're working in the working direction. And then you make your 5 double crochets on top of each of your 5 double crochets that you just made. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. We got the right number that we need. See? So now it's staggering this, it's going that way. And then we chain, no, we don't do any chains in between. In this row, we simply make a shell on top of a shell, which is chain 2, or sorry, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets in that same first chain stitch. Just like that. And then you chain 3, go on top of this, make your double crochet or single crochet, chain 3, and then flip your work, make your 5 double crochets, chain 3, flip your work, and then carry on like we just did right here. And then work on top of there. So just carry on this pattern until you have the length that you want. So what I ended up doing in this first panel, I believe I did 8. Let me just count it. Yeah, I ended up doing, I think, 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I did 8 blocks. Yeah. So, see, it's starting to come along. It's the same, it's about the same amount of space. Yep. I believe so. And then I have to make those 2 double crochets on each end here because it was not, I made it way too small to start with. So, yes, just carry on and make it the length that you like. Just going to measure it from here, compare it. Just want to see. So, yeah. Yeah. I think so. Always second guessing. No, that's fine. No, that's perfect. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Looks the same. Looks the same. So my tension was pretty similar. All right, looks good. So I will meet you back when I'm finished the second panel, and I'll show you the next step. All right, so I've done my 8, up to my 8 blocks. These are block stitches. So I did the block stitch, and then I did the other 2 rows to finish them off. So now what we need to do is create this border on each side, just like on the other panel. I'll show you the other panel, the first panel. So we need to do 2 double crochet rows on each, just on the sides, not on the top or the bottom, just on the right side and the left side, just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start from here and just do double crochets here twice all the way along. I'll do a couple and then I'll let you finish it off. So I'm going to do 2 rows along here. Then I'm going to take my yarn out, attach it probably to the bottom, and then start with 3 chains. Maybe I'll just show you quickly how to do that as well. But you do a chain 3, and then you just make double crochets all the way along here, and then continue here. Make another 3 chains and go all the way back down, and then just fasten off. So I'm just going to start this one row, So I didn't fasten off. So what I'm going to do is chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then start working in the sides. So just go in here, just along the side of this panel, just like this. See? So you start making rows of single or double crochets all the way along. Yeah, you just go along and just keep doing your double crochets all the way till you get to the end of the row, and then we're going to turn around and come back up just like this. Okay, so oops, just keep doing your double crochets all the way along the edge of one side, and I'll meet you back when I get to the end of this row. Alright, so it looks like I'm just about at the end of that first row, so I'm just going to do, I think, one more double crochet right in the corner here, just like this. And now I'm going to chain 3, flip my work around, and I'm just going to keep making double crochets again all the way across till I reach this, and then I'm going to fasten off. So yeah, so you chain 3, go into that double crochet from the previous row, and just keep making double crochets in there all the way along. When you get here, make your last double crochet and then fasten off. And then let me just quickly, I'm not going to go through and show you each step by step, but when you finish making that second row, then you're going to come here to the opposite. So you're doing it on one side, not on the top or the bottom, just on the right and left side. So then you're going to come along this side, you're going to fasten some yarn here, chain 3, and then start making your double crochets all the way along the edge, just going into spaces, going into stitches, just kind of random all the way across. When you get to the end, when you get to the top, do what I just did. You make a chain 3, flip your work, and then make another row of double crochets all the way across and fasten off. So I'll meet you back when this is all these rows are done. And I'll show you the next step, how to sew it together, and then we have to do some sleeves. So I will be back. Alright, so I did my 2 rows on one side and I fastened off. So I'm just going to start the other side for you. So the opposite side, this is done. Just flip it around this way and do the opposite side. So get your yarn, and then I will just put my hook in, say about, it's probably in the corner here, right in the corner of the bottom where I started. And then just put your yarn, oops, on top of your hook, and slowly pull up a loop and chain 3. 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then I'm going to grab this tail and I'm going to kind of weave it in or crochet it into the side as I go. So I just kind of put it on top of the side here. I'm kind of holding it, and then just make another double crochet. Again, you kind of just eyeball it along as you go. Might do another one in there, just like this. See, and then I'm just grabbing that yarn to weave in, crochet in that loose piece of yarn. Sorry, I hope I didn't take it off the camera. And just keep going along the edge. Just like this. See? Keep going along the edge. And then when I get here, the top, I'm going to chain 3 and then turn around and go back and then fasten off. Okay, so I've made my 2 panels of this beautiful top. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly show you how I'm going to sew it, so that I'm going to do the shoulders. So starting from about the second, there's this piece here. This is the original ending of it. So starting from here, I'm going to say, to make the seams. So from here, I'll show you. So I go into there. I have threaded the needle, and then let's see here. So I'm going to go. Okay, there's the end of the thread, and then I'm just going to do like an in and out stitch. I don't know the proper name of it. Just line it up as best as you can, and then just go in and out. I don't know if that's called a mattress stitch. I'm not sure. Well, I think it's called, I'm not sure. I'm just going in through the back and out through the front. So I don't know what that's called. There's a stitch name for that. So just go right along the edge, line it up, and just sew along the edge to make your little shoulder area of the top. Just like this. All the way. And then when I get to the side, I'll show you what I do and how far I'm going to go. I'm going to go down to about 4 blocks of the block stitch. That's kind of what I'm using as my guide in this blouse, top, sweater. It's a top. It's going to be short sleeves. So you do that on each side, just like this. So I'm almost at the edge. So, okay, just about at the edge here. And yeah, so I'm just going to go along here. And then I'm just going to keep doing this all the way till I get to, like I said, see here, there's, this block is here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when I get to this point, that's where I'm going to stop. So this is going to be the sleeve. So just carry on in this fashion. Actually, no, you don't sew along that. You have to leave that open. What am I saying? I'm going to have to fasten off here and then start sewing. You won't have a sleeve if I keep sewing. I'm going to fasten off, and then I'm going to attach my yarn at this 4th block. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here at the 4th block, but all the way to the edge. And then I'm going to sew all the way down that side, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so once you reach here, you fasten off. I will be back. Okay, so I've sewn everything. I've done my little shoulders on each side. This is for the head opening. There's one shoulder, there's the other shoulder, and then along each side, it's sewn up. There's the sleeve armhole. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some little sleeves and just continue with this double crochet pattern here. So I'm just going to go to the armpit part, the underarm part, just put my hook in and fasten some yarn on to that section. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, just like we did with the sides. It's going to be the same idea. Oh, and you know what? This is not the yarn. Oh, hang on a second. Okay, so let me try that again. I just thought that I grabbed some loose end instead of the actual working yarn. So let's try that again. So I just put my hook in. So this is the underarm, you see? And so I'm just going to go, maybe it was that little piece? I don't know. I'm going to go about right in here with my hook and then grab my yarn from my skein, wrap it around my hook, and then just pull, oops, and then just pull up a loop. Just like this. Okay, so yes, see, I'm doing it again. So make sure I get the right end of the yarn. I think I was using the wrong end. 1, 2, 3. So chain 3. Yes, I was using the wrong end of the yarn. And I'm just going to keep making single crochets all the way along the armhole opening, the arm opening, just like this, all along. And I don't know if I'm going to do 2, 3, or 4. I got to measure it on my daughter to see if it's the length that she likes. This has all been tailor-made for her body. So I've been measuring it on her, letting her try it on, and so on. So she likes this length and this width. So it's all, hopefully it'll be comfortable on her and exactly what she wants. So just keep making your double crochets going around and around. I don't know how many rows I'm going to do. I may do 3, 4, I don't know, I got to see. So I will meet you back when I'm done, and I'll let you know how many rows I've done. Okay, I'll meet you back. And you do the same. You just keep going around and around. When you get, I guess when you get back here, you would just attach it. I'm going to try and do one round, then I'll meet you back. Let's try it that way. Let's do that. I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've come to the end of the round, the first round, and this was that first 3 stitches that I did at the beginning. So I'm just going to slip stitch at the top, just like that, and then I'm going to make a chain 3 and continue making my double crochet rows. And then when I get to the end of this round, I'll just do what I just did. Once again, just attach it to the top and just keep working in the round until you have the length of the sleeve that you like. If you want to make it short, just do a few rows. If you want to make it long, just keep going. You can make it like to the elbow or 3/4 length, whatever you like. That's the beauty of making your own items. You can just make them exactly how you want them, customized to the way you prefer. So I will meet you back when I have the length that Jane likes. Okay, so I finished the one sleeve and I had this really pretty little edge on it. So I ended up doing 5 rows of single crochets. So the first was 2, and then so I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the last row I did a shell, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and a shell. So I'll just quickly show you how to do that if you're interested in learning how to do that edging. And so I'm on, where am I here? Let me just get myself situated. So this is the last single crochet before I attach it to the chain 3 space. So I just go into the top here and then make my slip stitch, chain 3, and then I do a double crochet, go back to the same stitch, make a double crochet, chain 1, and then go, and I'm doing my first shell. So 2 double crochets in that same space. So there's a shell. Okay, let me just organize it. All right, so now I make a chain 3, and then I'm going to make a single crochet. So I skip 1 stitch, go into the following one and make a single crochet, chain 3, and then I'm going to make a shell. So I skip 1 and go into the next one, make the shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. And then I'm going to chain 3 again, skip 1, go into the next one and make a single crochet. And just keep repeating that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. We're almost finished. I'll meet you back. Hi everyone. Okay, so the tutorial is done. And this sweet Jane top is completed. And it looks beautiful on her. You can see it from the pictures at the top of the video, the front of the beginning of the video. It's quite easy to make. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you try it. And if you do, I would love to see some pictures of it. So please post them on Craving Crochet, my Facebook group, or your own Facebook group, and share with me, or your own Facebook page if you don't have a Facebook group. Or I have also an Instagram profile called Crochet Crave. I'll leave all the links below. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial and making this gorgeous top. It looks just beautiful on Sweet Jane. So thanks again, and I encourage you to subscribe if you're new here to my channel, Craving Crochet. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and leave me a comment if you want to leave a comment. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Let me show you something.